Mistfall Hunter is almost here, and before we start worrying about builds, gear, or whatever class Reddit decides is completely broken 3 hours after launch, we need to figure out what we're actually playing. There are a total of 6 different classes, and they don't just feel like the same character holding a different weapon. You've got frontline melee, magic, bows, assassin, support, you name it, this game has it. I want to answer the question that actually matters. What class fits the way you'd like to play? Now, with a quick disclaimer, I played some classes more than others on the beta. Blackarrow and the Shadowstrix are 2 of the classes I spent the least amount of time on, so I'll explain what their kits are designed to do and what stood out to me, but I'm not pretending like I know every matchup before the game is even out. So this isn't a final tier list, it's a quick breakdown of what each class does, where it looks strongest, and who I think will enjoy it. Before we start, there are 2 things you need to know. First, Mistfall Hunter uses free aim combat. That means arrows, spells, and even melee attacks need to be properly aimed. You can't just stand next to somebody, press a button, and expect the game to land the hit for you. Second, don't judge a class at level 3. During the early levels, you're still missing out on core abilities, talents, and tools that may completely change how the class plays. A low-level character is basically a preview and not the full experience. So while I'm talking about these classes, keep that in mind, that their playstyle opens up considerably as you level and build them. Mercenary is probably the easiest class to recommend if you're new and have no idea where to start. Sword and Shield gives you a safer, more reactive style. You can block, you can chase with shield dash, and lean into perfect parries if you like timing-based defense. The Crimson Blade side is more aggressive and lets you put a lot of pressure on people instead of playing like a wall with legs. Then you've got the Hammer. Slower, heavier, and much more committed. Charged attacks can give you super armor and damage resistance here in the windup, so when the hit lands, it feels great. Mercenary is forgiving without being automatic. It gives you enough survivability to learn the maps, enemies, extraction loop, and PvP without instantly dying every time you make one bad decision. Pick Mercenary if you like direct melee, blocking, parrying, or if you want a dependable first class. The downside is mobility, and good range players can make you work for every step of distance. Then there's Sorcerer. This is the class for anyone who wants to fight from range, throw out big elemental spells, and turn an already chaotic fight into even more chaos. The elemental direction works with fire, thunder, and ice, letting you trigger different reactions for damage and crowd control. Stardust focuses more on the big, powerful spells that let you control an entire area. Sorcerer is a jack of all trades type of class. It has access to movement, stealth, and all different kinds of CC potential. The weakness is exactly what you'd expect. Positioning. If a melee class reaches you after you escape and all of your crowd control skills are on cooldown, wizard clothing is not known for its protective qualities. Pick Sorcerer if you like range magic, AoE, and controlling the fight from the outside. It should feel especially good in trio where teammates can create space for you. Blackarrow is one of the classes I played the least during the beta, so this is more about the play style than me just pretending I have a Blackarrow doctorate. The archer direction rewards charged shots and sustaining fights, with Mystic Fly Arrow giving you a burst payoff when you set it up correctly. Hunter leans into more status effects, crowd control, and keeping debuffs active through basic attacks. The big thing is that range does not mean your attacks are going to land automatically, so you have to actually track movement, predict dodges, and actually land your shots.
Just hit your shots, kid. It's quite simple. Do you want to get good? Last time I checked, oh yeah, you didn't hit your shots. Have fun in the lobby.
Pick Blackarrow if you like bows, kiting, precision, and wearing people down with pressure and effects. Just know that the spacing and accuracy are doing a lot of the work. Shadowstrix is the other class I didn't put a ton of hours into, but I already know who's picking it. You saw daggers, dual blades, stealth, and mobility, and the rest of this video became background noise. If you want to play a Nightblade, Shadowstrix is your class. They lean into stealth burst, energy recovery, and cycling back into shadow so you can attack, disappear, and reposition. Dual blades can build wound stacks for burst detonation or reward you for staying aggressive and continuing to land hits. This class is about controlling the engagement, getting in when somebody is distracted, weak, or separated. If the fight turns bad, mobility can be just as valuable. The trade-off is that mobility is not durability. You go in the wrong time and you burn your escape, you're not a mercenary. You don't get to stand there and hope that your armor solves the situation. Pick Shadowstrix if you love rogues, high mobility, flanking, and aggressive solo PvP. Seer is easy to dismiss as quote-unquote the healer, but that leaves out most of what makes this class interesting. The Catalyst form can lean offensive by spinning psionic energy energy on enhanced orbs, or it can focus on healing, shielding, buffs, and peeling enemies away from your teammates. My preferred playstyle was using the mace during the beta. It plays a lot faster and it is a very aggressive melee spec. You gain hyper armor in your zeal form, you gain a massive amount of damage reduction, you can heal debuff your opponents. It's just a nightmare to fight this class in 3v3s. Seer also have some mobility in the skill Shapeshift, although the devs have been tuning down how strong that escape can be. In a trio, Seer's value can be massive. A shield at the right time or a heal that buys 5 more seconds for your teammates can completely flip a fight, even if it doesn't create the biggest damage number on the screen. Pick Seer if you enjoy support, control, and keeping teammates alive, and having the option to build into more offense with the mace. Finally, we have the Withered Knight. Now, I think this was the most played class during the beta, so it comes with no introduction. This class is a lot of fun to play, and technically we were only playing with half of its toolkit, and it's going to be even better on release. Withered Knight is like Mercenary, but with elemental effects is the best way to describe it. The class revolves around applying withering sigils and using reckoning to break or detonate those marks. One direction keeps pressure building through repeated breaks and debuffs, the other creates delayed explosions and can spread wither around the target. You also have access to a parry and Thorn Guide, which can drag an enemy out of position. That gives the Withered Knight more team utility than just standing in the middle and swinging his huge sword. This class rewards timing and prediction. Pick Withered Knight if you like great swords, parries, deliberate attacks, debuff setups, and controlling where enemies stand. Souls players who love those weapons are probably already interested. So which class should you pick? If you're completely new and want a forgiving class to learn the game, Mercenary is your choice. If you want range, magic, AoE, and crowd control, Sorcerer. If you trust your aim and enjoy kiting and status effect pressure, Blackarrow. If you love stealth, mobility, and choosing exactly when a fight starts, the Shadowstrix. If you're playing with friends and want to make the whole team stronger, Seer is the obvious choice. And if you want a great sword, parries, debuffs, and slower technical melee, it's going to be the Withered Knight. Again, for a brand new player, Mercenary is my safest recommendation, but I wouldn't pick purely from a pre-launch tier list. Pick the class whose mechanics makes you want to improve, because balance is going to change almost immediately. So for me, I'm leaning more towards the Seer or the Withered Knight. I originally thought I was going to play the Sorcerer. I really liked the overall idea, but during the beta, I just didn't have enough time to get to high enough level to really get the full experience. So it was kind of frustrating on the early game, but I think later game it does get a little bit better. But my mindset completely changed whenever I used the mace on the Seer. That playstyle was just so much fun. It's really fun to fight bosses, and having that hyper armor and mitigation, you can just keep spamming your mace attacks. And also in PvP, having the debuff and the gap closers, that sort of thing, to close the gap on sorcerers or Blackarrows. It was overall just a lot of fun to play. Let me know what you're starting with and why. Are you picking the Blackarrow because you actually have good aim, or is it because you're scared of melee players? I need to know. And once I've spent real launch time on Blackarrow and Shadowstrix, we'll come back and do the dangerous video, the actual tier list. Then we can find out how badly all of our pre-launch opinions aged. And if you guys enjoy the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm doing a wide variety of content on this game, build guides, boss guides if needed, the whole 9 yards. I've thoroughly enjoyed the beta, and I'm really excited for this game to release here on July 29th. And I wanted to add also, this game is releasing on PC, on Steam, is releasing on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, and I believe it is on the Xbox Game Pass, so if you have that, you can get it for free. But that's gonna do it for me, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.